It's Central Valley Business. I'm your host, Steve Walling. My guest for this segment is Miguel Arias. Did I pronounce that correct?
That's right.
Miguel, welcome to the show. Actually, I should say welcome back to the show. I had you on during the primary season.
Yeah.
Now we're in the big leagues, the real game. But before we get into the stuff we're going to talk about, I want to take a minute. You were telling me before we went on camera that as a younger person, you had some time in Washington, D.C. working with the government. Tell us about that.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, in my early 20s, I was a congressional staffer.
Really?
In Washington, D.C. for Congressman Cal Dooley at that time, who represented the Central Valley and the Fresno area. Uh-huh. And as I was telling you, I was there during 9/11, before and after, and I saw the dramatic shift in security procedures and just the environment overall.
That made a big change in how our country is.
Yeah, it fundamentally shifted everything. When I was there, I was the staffer for the Bipartisan Committee on Immigration Reform, and we were scheduled to announce an agreement for immigration reform that we had reached between both houses and the president.
That's going back.
Yeah, on September 12th, we were going to announce. And September 11th occurred, and unfortunately, and rightfully so, everything shifted.
Everything shifted, yeah.
Everything shifted. So,
wow, that's awesome. You got that experience behind you. Now let's fast forward to today. You're the CIO of the
Fresno Unified School District,
and you're on the college board.
Absolutely, yeah. Since when I was in D.C., the first major water drought occurred in the Central Valley, so I was asked to come back and lead the food relief efforts for the farm workers had been unemployed for months. And so I came home to do that.
Right.
And then I spent some time at City Hall working for Council President Blong Zhang at that time. And after that I was recruited to come work for Fresno Unified and help turn around the fifth largest school district, the fourth largest in the state of California.
When you came in, didn't they?
They did. We were on the brink of bankruptcy.
Not so much anymore now.
Our graduation rates were at 60%. Now we're at 84%.
Yeah.
Our finances are in strong order. We've been building schools for the last few years. We have built, Gaston Middle School in West Fresno, Van Pal Elementary. Over the next few months, we start construction on our new Juan Felipe Herrera Elementary School in Southeast Fresno.
Tell me about that.
Yeah,
that's great. So now we're moving up a little bit. We're looking to represent District 3, right?
Yeah, absolutely. In my experience over the last 4 years on the State Center Community College Board, we'll be investing about $500 million in building new college campuses and expanding our current ones in our four-county area. We're actually building 2 new campuses in South Fresno. One dedicated to first responders, police, fire, and paramedics in Southeast Fresno. Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we've set aside $50 million to build a state-of-the-art college campus in Southeast Fresno for our first responders.
That's great.
Yeah, and in the southwest part, we're building a brand new campus. Now it's nearly a $100 million campus in West Fresno, across from Gaston Middle School that we opened up about 5 years ago. And that's really what drove my interest in the city council is, as a school system and education, our job is to educate our kids irrespective of where they start from and provide them the opportunities and skill set to go into the job market. But what we have found over the years is we've also been tasked with the responsibility of safety, and more every year.
And that's become a great issue. I mean, a great big issue nowadays.
Absolutely, and it's become a significant financial responsibility for school systems. In Fresno Unified, we probably spend about $3.5 million a year in paying for police officers. At State Center, we're spending about $1 million. And what we've noticed over time is that we're not hiring police officers to monitor what's on campus. We're hiring them to protect the campus from the neighborhoods.
From the neighborhood, yeah.
Yeah, so that's really what interests my run in the city council.
So
was
moving out into the neighborhood now. Let's get it there before it gets to the campus.
Absolutely. Right? In order for us to turn around a city with the highest concentration of poverty nationally, you have to change the significant industry that's around us. And I think, unfortunately, poverty has been a huge industry for so long that now we're trying to make that industry education. Yeah. In West Fresno specifically, we'll be opening the new educational corridor where kids can go from Head Start at ELC to a college campus right in their own neighborhood.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, but to do that and to really have a change, we have to make sure that neighborhoods around the college campus are built with mixed income. They're safe.
They've got a financial foundation, and they can support themselves in a way that is congruent with what you want to see in the local school district and stuff.
Yeah, what we want is to create an environment where it feels like a community college neighborhood, where there's senior housing, student housing, mixed income housing, market rate housing, affordable housing, all within the same area. So you can bring retail, commercial, and if you would feel more like you would see in North Fresno. And I think that's what our residents deserve.
I think so too. That's great. You know, I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but I'm old enough to remember where I used to live. We had a real tight community feeling, you know, and Fresno's grown so much, so fast, that in so many different ways, that a lot of that, it kind of got out of control, didn't it?
Yeah, you know, what you find in our district, in District 3, is it's the only district in the city of Fresno that's urban, rural, and suburb.
Okay.
So we're actually about 4 major neighborhoods in one district. We have the downtown neighborhood, where I've been living and owning there for about 10 years now. We have West Fresno with their historical and traditional elements. Then you have the tower, South Tower, that has century-old homes.
Oh, yeah.
And then you have the new development in the west of the 99, which is our more subdivision. Century Unified is still the fastest growing district. Yeah. Absolutely. So what you see in our neighbors and our residences, they all want the same level of attention and investment from City Hall.
And you got a vision for all this, don't you?
We do. We have a vision, but more importantly, we have a plan.
Yeah.
And I think that's what led us to the success in the primary, was that we committed to talking to every neighbor at every corner of the district, in every neighborhood, about their issues. And as a matter of fact, just last night, I was at Central Unified area at the Victoria West Park, talking to neighbors about the condition of their park.
Yeah.
You know, it's our nearest park in that region. It's only about 10 years old.
You're doing a lot of neighborhood walking, aren't you?
A lot, yeah. We're spending right now. We're spending about 7 hours of my day walking door to door.
But that's important, that the people get a chance to know you, talk to you, shake your hand, and hear from you personally. What your vision is, what your plan is.
Yeah.
That you want to bring here to open up this part of the community to a greater, more prosperous future, and that's awesome.
Yeah, you know, what we have found in our conversations with neighbors is I like to walk at 2 points of the day. One is in the morning after 10 a.m., because I reach all our retirees that are home, you know, with
a few of us out
playing,
there.
you know, the cable news in the backdrop, right? And then in the evening, when the working class families are coming home, you know, they're like myself, their parents, they're putting kids to do homework, they're making dinner, they're getting ready for the next day of work and school activities. And it's been really an eye-opener for us, is that what people simply want is the same thing that anybody else has.
That's what I was going to ask you. When you're out there meeting the folks in the neighborhoods, what are they telling you?
You know, they're telling me 3 things that have been consistent across the whole district. One is public safety, and not just more police officers.
Right.
But what they want is, when they call 911, they shouldn't be put on hold. And they shouldn't take several minutes to get a response.
Right.
And when, you know, they call to report a smash and grab or the garage being broken into, it shouldn't take a week to get somebody out there.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're definitely understaffed. But when it comes to public safety, they're also talking about finding a dignified way to deal with our vagrancy and our homeless population, because it has spread across the city and across the district. I mean, right now, this weekend I was in the Central Unified area, and some of the ponding basins have been used as encampments now.
Really?
And so as the rains are coming in, they're
going to be a problem. They're going to have to move.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's been kind of this back and forth, and what I've been pressing them for is, you know, historically, District 3 has been the only solution for the homeless population, the only place in the city where they can receive services. And I believe it's now time to have a citywide conversation about a solution, and have a citywide solution for it.
Excellent. Well, Miguel, this is great. You got some good visions, great plans. Good luck.
Well, thank you for having me today.
Well, thanks for coming back. And, you know, after the election and you got the spot, man, come on back. We'll talk about where we're going.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Good deal. And I'll see you when we come back.